According to a study, many teen drivers frequently speed while texting. Speeding and texting while driving are two popular but harmful practices among teenagers, according to a recent study. In the study, it was shown that young drivers exceeded the posted speed limit 40% of the time and held their phones more than 30% of the time. Teenagers used their telephones and drove too fast in 5% of trips. We all want teen drivers to be safe on the roads for themselves, their passengers, and the people who share the road with them, said Catherine McDonald, the study's primary author and co-director of the Penn Injury Science Center at the University of Pennsylvania School of Nursing in Philadelphia. We all want teen drivers to be safe on the roads for themselves, their passengers, and the people who share the road with them. For the study, McDonald and her co-workers tracked 165 young drivers who had their licenses for 8 months, with an average age of 17. The majority of the journeys were brief, less than 6 miles, and they generally happened during the day. Boys were more prone than girls to use forceful braking and quick acceleration. These actions happened 10% of the time or less. However, there were no appreciable variations in smartphone use or speeding between boys and girls. The data from these teens gives us another way of observing driving behaviors beyond self-report, said McDonald. Teens were speeding and texting while operating a vehicle, but it wasn't always the case. We may be able to advance our treatments to lower crash risk if we have a better grasp of the where and when of certain driving habits. The Governor's Highway Safety Association's Pam Shattle-Fisher, Senior Director of External Engagement, said it's not unexpected that many teen drivers speed and use their phones. She claimed that because kids have grown up with cell phones, they are a significant part of everything they do. They permanently have appendages, including arms, legs, and cell phones, attached to them. Shattle-Fisher thinks that in order to prevent kids from speeding and being distracted by their phones, education and enforcement are both crucial. Teenagers are less risk-averse than adults, so when speeding is added, she said, it can be very, very deadly. We need kids to comprehend both that and the fact that distractions divert attention away from the road. Parents are the ones who should set a good example for their children by driving properly, according to the expert. Additionally, Shattle-Fisher noted that parents can impose restrictions on driving and supervise children even when they use smartphone applications that monitor driving habits. Parents need to understand the risk for their teenagers and the fact that teens more than any other age group account for a greater proportion of speeding-related fatalities, and we need parents to understand that so they can monitor and be actively engaged, she said. Shattle-Fisher said that in terms of enforcement, the rules governing cell phone use and speeding should be as explicit and subject to the same consequences as other traffic infractions. The goal is to persuade teenagers that the risk of a fine is not worth speeding or using a telephone. She added that it is possible to make cars and roadways safer. The sensors in many modern vehicles warn drivers when they are veering off the road. Devices can also automatically apply emergency braking when a car is following another one too closely and limit the speed at which it can travel. Other methods to avoid fatal collisions on the road include rumble strips, broader shoulders, center median barriers, and cable barriers, according to Shattle-Fisher. The safe system approach gives me a lot of hope, she continued.